Welcome to Messages for the Signs for the week of September 20th. I am Tammy Toshnik, and this message is for Pisces. And Pisces, what do your guides want you to know or hear today? Pisces. We'll start up here. All right, Pisces. So you're being asked to take a risk. You've got clean it up, come to the edge, and higher power. This is asking you to clean up the messy parts of your thinking on what it means to take a risk. And there's also a higher message here of, I want to say, it can't always be your way or the highway, Pisces. So that's sort of what's coming from the first three cards here. We'll get more clarity as we go along. But this feels like you're definitely in your head about this, or your emotions, and there's a resistance here. And then it's saying you have to trust in your higher power, your intuition, your higher self, Mother Nature, God, whomever, and that you are protected. And risk, when I say risk, I'm not somebody who's advocating any kind of high risk. It's usually just something that makes us a little nervous or pushes us outside of our comfort zone. So that's what I'm talking about here. But you have to clean that up. You have to clean up your fears around it. That's what it feels like to me, Pisces. Listening, movement, and goblins. So yep, you're definitely in your head. Goblins usually does come up when somebody is telling themselves something that isn't necessarily true, or we may have added to the details a little bit. So goblins is asking you, okay, what are you telling yourself about this risk besides the fact that it's making you uncomfortable or nervous? Are you inflating it? Listening, again, is the reminder that sometimes we miss details because we're not listening to somebody else or listening to their side of the story. And from there, this tells me you're going to have movement. If you do this, if you trust in yourself, if you trust in the process, if you lean into your higher power, you're going to actually see positive movement from this. But only if you take that risk. Now, interestingly enough, in this card movement, there is a hot air balloon here, and then in the card come to the edge, she's standing on the edge, she's up in the air. So for some of you, this may be literal, that you're going to do something that is flying related or height related, and it makes you very nervous. And of course, this could just be symbolic that, again, you're moving out, you're moving away from what you consider safe, comfortable, and normal for you. Yep. And then we've got crown chakra, moving on, material and spiritual prosperity. So yes, definitely you do. This risk looks like it will lead to something beneficial, but of course, pay attention to the circumstances and do your homework. But at some point, you've got to realize it may be you standing in your own way of the moving forward. You've got movement and moving on, which is very interesting. So it does tell me that you may have been feeling stuck, or again, you're in your own way. Crown chakra, higher power, same idea, leaning into the connection to all that is, to source, trusting in that. And so I feel like with clean it up and then crown chakra, higher power, and goblins, I feel like there's a push and pull with you, Pisces. You're trying to listen to your intuition and your guides, and yet you're letting your ego get in the way. And when I say ego, I mean the part of us that tells us not to do something because it's uncomfortable, or the part of us that tells us we can't do it or we shouldn't do it, or that sort of thing. And not because there's danger on the other end of it, simply because our ego likes us to be safe and not do anything, honestly, that is out of our comfort zone. And then material and spiritual prosperity. So this works as well with movement. It does feel like you have to do that to get to here. So let's see what else here. We've got 2 6s. Yeah. Okay, so 2 6s with moving on and material and spiritual prosperity. The 6 in numerology is all about family and relationships. So this could have that element to it for you, for some of you Pisces. Let's see if there's anything else here. For some of you, this feels like you're being called to go away, go far away. Like I'm even just looking at the elephant and the ostrich. Like, are you going on some safari? I know many people aren't traveling any kind of great distances right now, but there could be an element there for some of you that this feels exotic to you. Like even the imagery in the goblins is in a forest, it's lush, we're talking some type of tropical area. So that's interesting too. That could be a piece for some of you. And then finding the balance. Because looking at this card here, material and spiritual prosperity, there is a balance between material and spiritual prosperity. It didn't just say spiritual prosperity. It didn't just say material prosperity. It's both. It's both. And so this is telling me as well that for some of you, maybe you're learning something about the esoteric or the mystical arts. You're taking class. Maybe you're teaching it yourself. There'll be prosperity that will come from that. But you do have to step out of your comfort zone, Pisces. Alrighty, I hope that helps you. And then you can choose a card if you like. All right, so you've got 1, 2, and 3. So if you chose 1, you've got Between Worlds, which is, so I apologize for the lighting. Being in front of this window is not conducive to showing you the cards very well. So Between Worlds is all about that place, being in that middle space where we haven't, we've come too far to go back, and we're not far enough ahead to see ahead, and it makes us very uncomfortable. That might be the taking a risk, cleaning it up means for you there, Pisces. If you chose 2, you've got peace. So how can you bring peace into your life? How can you embody peace? Whenever we want something to come in, we must embody it first. And that again would speak to the cleaning up. So there's definitely some mental gymnastics you've been doing here, Pisces, and it's time to bring some peace in. And then card 3, observer. So observe yourself. See where you're telling yourself some stories, as in the goblins, and how you can clean that up so that you can take this next step and become prosperous and be more connected to source. We have to clean up so much before we get there. It's almost like it's like I'm getting a visual of like a lightning bolt that can't reach Earth because there's all this other stuff in between. Now, maybe we don't want lightning bolts to reach Earth, but in this point, or in this visual, it's more about flashes of inspiration and connection. So that can't reach here, or you, in this case, Pisces, because there's just so much other stuff in the way. So it's time to clean that up. Alrighty, I hope that helps you, Pisces, and I hope to see you here next week. Take care.